As in, sweet dreams are made of these.
It's in Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams,
Oh,
which is
okay.
like, if you listen to Andy Stewart's Sweet Dreams music, it's way more complicated than, like, they simplified it. I think probably, I mean, Trent Reznor was in charge of most of the production on that. Is that true? Maybe it was pre
Don't
Trent Reznor.
I
No,
don't
he
know.
did Antichrist Superstar, and Sweet Dreams is on another album, right?
Are they still
So I don't
friends?
know. I hear they had a falling out over something, but I don't know either of them, so that could just be bullshit.
Okay. Okay.
I think Marilyn went, like, there was that time where he decided he was going to, like, get severely into absinthe,
Mhm. Yeah, I remember.
and
Yeah.
that is not a good drink to get addicted to, I don't think. Everybody, you know what, like, the thing is, these people need to realize is that it may be fun to be like all Satanisty and this bullshit in like California or Hollywood or the music business or something, but it really does something to you.
Mm. Yeah. I
Gets rid
agree.
of it gets
Yeah.
rid of something like you're creepy is basically what it comes down to. Turns you kind of creepy. I don't know why, but it just does. Um, I love Asmongold.
What?
Oh,
What is that?
whatever.
Is Asmongold playing New World now?
Yes, New
Okay.
World has gotten its player base back.
And good or bad?
It's not bad. They had restart servers so you could start from the beginning with other people.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you join those servers, you have to start with a new character. They
Okay.
made the trade crafting, they nerfed it severely, which
I
I don't
heard
think
they
is great, but whatever.
I heard that they nerfed mages a lot. I was watching another guy play.
They nerfed a
Um,
bunch of stuff. They made
okay.
melee. They made the stuff in melee. What I like about New World is that the melee was the hitbox for the melee was well done.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, so melee in a lot of games is based on the shooting reticle. So you'll
Okay. Yeah,
notice
right.
that you still
Right.
have to do the shooting reticle to melee. Like
Mhm.
Fallout 76 is terrible for this. Like there's the
Yes.
reticle,
Yeah.
and then there's melee where there's like a cleave swing or whatever. Like you're
Yeah.
swinging in a cleave, right? You don't have to be exact with a cleave. Like you do
No.
if you're a fencer,
But
but if you got a gigantic axe and you're sweeping from like left to right, you should be able
true.
to hit something. And it's still based on the shooting reticle. Like they've never figured out how to do that. And they should probably just go and look at New World because they figured it out. They figured
Oh,
out how to
okay.
do it. I don't know what they did. Probably something very simple because that's, Bethesda, right? Like,
Do you think they will?
God no. I still like
Oh,
Fallout 76.
okay.
It's Fallout 76 is like, it's not super hard. So you can play it with kids, you know, because it's kind of like the the learning curve isn't as harsh as it is in other games.
Yeah.
And it's like a friendly atmosphere. People are
I
nice on it.
often wonder about people that start playing WoW. And I realize why it is that most people who are, I don't know, I guess 14, 15 is when you would start playing WoW. But like if you were thrown into it with like no one in your family that played and you just like wanted to try it out, it's daunting. Like not the actual play, although oh my goodness, can you imagine starting your first character from absolutely just starting your first character and then like proceeding from there.
Excuse me.
Like there's 100 things that you have to do.
Oh, I know. You'd need
Like
somebody to help you.
yeah, yeah, and it's not only that; it's getting around and you know,
Yeah.
just like wow.
There's like WoW is also way larger. Fallout 76 has never increased
That's true.
its
That's
game
true.
size.
Did they expand New World? Did they add new
They
because you
did,
said
yeah, a huge
yeah.
expansion. They're doing good things with it. I should probably start playing it again.
Good. Yeah, no, I know. But the reason I was thinking that it would be cool if you started playing again is Skrivix likes to play, right? And
No, no, I don't know, but I don't think so.
oh, okay.
Mm.
So you'd be by yourself
Tanking.
again.
Okay, so tanking in New World is a bit like it's more complicated than WoW. WoW is a top-down game, so you have the ability to like I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
It's
noticed that
like
about New World.
it's like a chessboard, right? You
Yeah,
can put
that's right.
yourself into positions.
Yep.
In New
Hmm.
World, it's very first person, so all of your
Right.
spatial thinking has to be
Yeah.
inside your head, which is
Yeah.
incredibly
Yeah.
hard to do in
That
small enclosed
sometimes
areas.
happens in WoW, but like you said, like you have the option to play way away from yourself and see
Mhm.
every character and every, yeah, on the
Yeah, and
screen.
it's
True.
definitely the way most people play is far away because it gives you the
Yep.
top down sensation.
Yep.
You can place yourself in positions, you can see stuff coming. In
Yep.
New World, you don't have that. So there's like one boss, there's this hilarious boss. So there's one dungeon, there's the first three dungeons, I think it's the first three, are kind of like tough but not really tough, right? Like they're but you get to this third boss and it's a boss who summons minions, right?
Okay.
The minions you can't tank while you're tanking the boss. So the people who are DPS have to figure out how to tank the minions. But it's a small area and the boss has a huge cleave area of effect
Oh.
attack. So
Oh.
the tank has to draw him to a blind door. So it
Ooh.
pushes your camera up on you. You
Yep.
have to keep him at that door.
Ooh.
Stay alive while your DPS figures out the minions, then attacks him, right? Then you can bring him back out. If you put them all together, you just instantly wipe like it, over and over. And the problem is if you're tanking, your spatial concept in real life has to be good. Like in real
Yeah.
life, my
Yeah.
spatial concept is really
It's
good, so
very
that
good.
game
Yeah.
is easier for me to play, especially
Yeah.
tanking, because like it's not as hard to understand where you are. Like I know
Yep.
where the environment and I can find the
And you don't get
confines and
turned around like I do.
no, I get
Like,
turned
yeah.
around in top down shit. Like I
Yeah.
don't
Yes.
understand
Yeah.
like there's no
Yeah.
like a visual spatial concept I don't think is how I like that's not how I view the world. I don't think that's how I view the world. I think I view the world as like there's the world I see and then I recreate it in my head.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how
Yep.
my
Yep.
visual concept works.
Yep.
Um I'm pretty sure because New World it's much easier, but that boss is where people just fucking nope out if they're a tank because it is rough.
And was it Skrivix who was Skrivix was tanking?
He like it really did a number on his head. Like it like
Well, what if?
I was healing and I told
Okay.
him how you tank in it.
Yeah. And
There goes Samsung just listening in. I told you how you I told him how to tank in it, but doing it and saying it are two different things, right? You can say something to
yeah, no,
somebody.
that's true. But you get like someone can explain something absolutely perfectly, but when you experience it for yourself, it's a different thing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it depends on what triggers you. Like if you're claustrophobic, or if
I
you've been
think
in
it
a
was
tight
he
situation you
just
can't get
stopped. He
out,
didn't
or
want to play anymore. It was too
it just
like the
really.
pressure on him, and the problem was is
Could
I
you
was
talk him
is
into it, do
no,
you
no,
think?
I was a healer. Like I spec'd as healer the second time I played because I played two characters. I played a tank and a healer, right?
I remember.
And
Yeah.
I was just doing the healing thing. And as a tank, I used to run like I would run that dungeon all day because people would just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
wipe over and over.
Yeah.
So I would go
Yeah.
through and tank the last boss over and over.
Yeah.
And until I got to like level, I don't know, 55, I just kept on going through and helping people get through it, right?
Yeah.
Because it was really hard to do. The learning curve was really high. It was a really hard boss. He's the hardest boss in the game. Like the other ones are
Wow.
simple, like
Yeah.
because there's a big area. That one is so enclosed, and the thing you have to do,
Oh, it's
because
just
we the
awful.
first group I went
Oh.
in there with as a tank, we did it, and we were like, we tried everything. We were like, I'll pull him over to the side of the room, I'll pull him here. What are we going to do about these problems? Because we wiped and wiped and wiped, and then about the seventh time I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pull him by the door, like way over by the door, like way over by the door. And I will just don't, the healer needs not to worry about me. I'll just take all the beating and shield block it, and when he breaks my block, I'll roll around him and then rinse and repeat, right? And it works like a charm. Like it is the only thing that would work in that boss. And it's like super specific, and it takes like, because you get pressed up. You lose all camera. It's just your shoulders and the boss beating on you,
Yeah.
right? And you're
Oh,
like
I yeah.
it's super claustrophobic and weird,
Yeah. And
and you've got to
nervy. Yeah.
understand not to point the AoE out towards the DPS, and then everything goes fine, right? But it's a lot of pressure on a tank. Like
Yeah.
and so people just nope out.
Hmm.
A lot of people nope out as tanks. Like they're like, because it's like everything else. Every one of these games, you have 5,000 DPS and then like two healers and three
Right.
tanks. It's
Yeah.
incredible. It's how all those MMOs go.
One of the weirdest experiences in WoW has got to be when you're a tank, or when you have a tank pet. Um, I guess more specifically like a warlock, who is, as long as you know where to be and you send your tank out and keep your tank alive, you are basically in very little danger. So, yeah, when you
Which
go
isn't
in,
helpful in dungeons, by the way.
no, no, it is no, no, it really isn't. It's for, yeah, it's for open world and WoW. Yeah,
If I were to tell people
yeah.
what to do with their warlock, stop using the void lord unless you're doing elites or something. Just run something else. Run the dog, so you have things running at you, and you get used to like
Oh, yeah,
doing other things. Like, because
true,
warlocks
true.
have a
Yeah,
lot of other things they can do. They can fear
they
an
do.
enemy.
Yeah,
They can
yeah.
taunt
Slow.
them in
I think
directions.
the
They
yeah,
can use like a fear to heal themselves. They can
yeah,
buff themselves. They have a lot
yeah,
of things, but if you don't do that and you just rely on the Void Lord, when you get
yeah.
into those situations, you just fucking melt down.
That's true. No, that is a truism. I
I've
should.
seen it all the time.
Yeah,
People melt
yeah,
down because it's why I
yeah,
stopped using pets that tank with the hunter. Because I want them hitting me. I want to know that to watch my health and be very aware where I am
yeah.
spatially,
I
where
think
what's
I
hitting me.
I think I do that anyway. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
no, but
really watch
it's
my health.
important.
But
Like, don't rely on your pets in
I'm
games,
beginning to
especially with in-game
realize where
content.
I lose DPS. Like a lot of times, like when I'm using the paladin, right? I lose DPS in the way that, like, I buff other people, or I'm healing other people, or, and this is while I'm tanking,
Oh
right?
no,
So
that's a good thing. People love tanks who heal other people.
yeah,
Takes pressure off the
but I
healer.
lose DPS, right? Doing it,
It's
right?
fine. That's what the
Yeah.
DPS is for.
I'm beginning to realize that, like, and if you're pure DPS, like, I realize that the people that do 12 or 15,000 DPS per second, those are the people who are really selfish. Like all they're concerned about is rotation and doing damage.
Yeah, they're
That's it.
they're they're like all I do is pump DPS.
Yep.
Always be
Yep.
pumping. Don't
Yep.
don't
All
tell
yeah,
me don't
exactly.
tell me to
Yep.
move. I'm pumping.
Yeah, they pop cooldowns. They,
Well,
keep the rotation
they're
really
great at
strong.
doing
Yeah.
it.
They
They're
are really good at
the
doing it.
problem
But
is they melt down too. You can be really
yeah, if
good
they
like that, but
well,
they
they're
have
the people
meltdowns.
that scream or get mad,
Oh, I
in
know.
dungeons and stuff like
Whatever.
that because I was watching someone do it who does it who's that's what they're really interested in is pumping DPS. Now he's a warlock too. Does he no, he's affliction
Yeah.
warlock. And yeah, he's concerned with parsing, which is how soon he hits the boss. How he manages his cooldowns.
Yeah, no, and those people suck in dungeons.
Um,
They do. They suck really hard as a tank because they go in for the first hit on the
well, as a
boss, right?
tank, oh no, he runs a tank. He runs a paladin.
Yeah, well then
Is
you
he
should
good?
know better.
Is he good at it?
No, what the
Yeah, he's
Donna,
okay.
the reason you hit them first is because your DPS timer starts on the first hit.
Yeah,
So they
exactly.
want the
Yeah,
first hit to be
they
so
do.
they can DPS a little
They
harder than the
get
next person.
extremely angry if the tank moves the boss.
Oh,
Like
fuck off.
what they want is for the tank to hit the boss, like pull it exactly the way they want it, and
No,
all
no,
they have to do is
no,
stand there and
that's
pump
not even it.
damage.
What they don't want to have to do is move.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly
They
it.
want to
Yeah.
stand there like a
Yes.
fucking dolt
Yes.
and do their
Yeah,
DPS bullshit.
that's exactly it.
It's
Yeah.
fucking annoying. Yeah, they're
And
annoying.
meanwhile, the healer is like constantly like I've watched people heal who are really good at it, and they constantly shift just a little bit or move a
You
lot,
have
to
to.
avoid the danger or all that kind of
No,
thing.
you're not avoiding
But
danger. You have to be in vicinity of the people. And
exactly,
the
yeah,
problem with WoW, specifically, with warlocks and mages, is they can stand way fucking far
yeah,
back from
yeah, the
everything.
farthest,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
that range as a healer. You've got to stay near the tank. So
Oh boy,
you've got to be in the fight too. You have to stay near him. Like the problem is not all of your powers have a 40-foot range. Like Flash Heal has 20 something like that. Like
oh, well,
all
that's
these if you're a
interesting.
priest, right? They have
Yeah,
shorter ranges on different spells. I don't give a shit if your DPS is ungodly. If you get out of my fucking vicinity and the tank needs healing, you're
yeah,
dead. You're
you're
dead.
dead. Yeah,
Fuck off. Take
no,
your
yeah.
DPS and cry a river. Go somewhere else and we'll get another one. Because
That's
there's
the other
50
thing
other
I've noticed
DPS waiting.
is that he stays always really close to the healer.
Well,
Like
good.
when he's
I
playing
mean,
his
at
warlock,
least he's
like he's
intelligent. Because I
yeah,
fucking
no,
hate that. I hate
like
it.
he's got parsing. Like he's playing Wrath of the Leech King, right? And he's play all these people have played it before. I mean,
Yeah.
they've so they know what to do. But like he's parsing close to 100% on every boss. So
I
that's
don't give a shit.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like it
I'm
puts him
sure
among the
he's
top 10%.
wonderful. He's also probably abhorrent to play with. I don't care. Give me a mid tier. You know what? Give me somebody who's not doing top tier damage. I don't give a shit. I'll tank with three pugs over people like that. I don't like them in my groups. I don't enjoy having to
Oh,
deal with them and their
okay.
little like
Yeah,
spazzy fits. I
yeah,
don't
it's
want
true.
it. I want people
Yeah,
who will talk, have normal conversations,
he had
and
a
be a normal
meltdown the other
person.
day
I
because
Yeah,
he
fucking
wanted
get out. See you later.
he wanted boots and they gave it to like a person who was playing their alt. And they
I don't fucking
like
care.
the raid leader gave it to a person who was playing their
Good.
alt and
Yeah,
he
teach him a
spazzed
lesson.
for 15 minutes.
Hmm.
15 minutes he melted down.
Yeah, no,
To the
I don't want those people. Whoever that guy is, I never want to do a group with him ever. If I was in a group with him, I'd either quit or I'd tell the raid leader, either he goes or I go. You got two
yeah.
choices. If you want him around, I'm leaving. I don't want to play with him. That's
Right.
bullshit. They make everything worse. They put pressure on people who don't deal with pressure well, because not everybody in your raid is going to be
Yeah, no, and that's
super
true.
fucking.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Yeah.
there's people who
Yeah.
don't deal with pressure well, and if you put pressure on them, they get worse. It's better to have like
I
a
think
raid leader who gives some kind of like, you got to do your job in this raid, but also
yeah,
understands that people don't all deal with it well.
yeah. I My thing of it is that there's always people who are new to the game, right? And
Yeah.
the nuances that you pick up, like I'm still learning and I've been playing it for 2 years. The nuances that you pick up, it really helps if you have people who talk about things and who explain why they're doing things, and especially if you have a leader who's like, this is what this boss is going to do. And you as a player who's been through that dungeon 15 times, it's like yawn. Oh, I've heard this. But the person who's been
No,
there for like the second or the third time, that's invaluable to
no,
them.
like what I like is I've been in groups where like I did the dungeons. I stopped playing. I shouldn't have stopped playing. I should have kept on playing, but I would run the dungeons and I would run like I preferred the groups where people had like hadn't run them very much. It's nice to run with groups where cuz what happens is you can play like you're the be all and end all of everything.
Yes,
Or you can realize that people who are new to something will have new ways of doing things.
that's
And
true.
you can
That is
learn
very,
too.
yeah.
And the problem
Yep.
with people who are constantly telling other people what to do is they never learn. Like they don't learn new
Yeah.
ways. There are new
Yeah.
ways to do everything.
That's
We
true.
we
No, that's true.
my favorite
Yeah.
dungeon to run was that stupid we couldn't get. Okay, so we started out and we were running a mythic plus for a young guy who was like level 170 or
Oh.
whatever. He was really low and we knew it was going to be tough.
Yep.
Me and the healer, and we got 2 DPS with him. Well, they quit. And so
Okay.
it was me, the tank, the healer, and a really terrible DPS. And I was like, she was like, "Do you want to quit?" And I was like, "Fuck no. Those people can suck a fucking dick.
Yep.
We are finishing this
Yeah.
dungeon, and we fucking finished it. It's the hardest goddamn dungeon. We finished it on 2 players. He would die immediately, like
Like
just insta die,
it's
and
yeah.
um,
Mm,
and we finished it. A healer and I tanked and did DPS, and she healed and did a moderate amount of DPS. We basically worked towards finishing the boss in there,
yeah,
and we did
together.
it.
Yeah.
And this was
Yeah.
before you were ungodly geared,
Yep.
like you could do this. It
Yeah.
was tough, but we did it. And you know what? Best dungeon I ever ran. Me and that healer were like, we were so glad when we finished that last boss. We were like, fuck yeah. We got an achievement for it, like some rare achievement for doing it, running
Unreal.
like a 2 person because he kept on dying. And we just gave him the gear. Like we were getting gear,
Yeah.
and we would
Yeah.
just toss
He
him
was
the
getting
gear when we
gear.
get it,
Yeah. Yeah.
like here's
Yeah.
here's a trinket or whatever.
Yeah.
It's fun as hell. That's the
Yeah.
good. That's how I like the game. I don't like these fucking oh god, they're
Divas.
annoying.
Mm.
Yeah, and they're like, well, you have to do this in a certain
Mm.
amount of time or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You don't. No, you
No,
don't.
no, no, it's not
I
like
mean,
it's not
you
like the end all
do.
and be
You
all. Like you
do
don't
in
like
Mythic Plus, like, if you're doing a level
you
6,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're on a
Yeah.
timer. But
Yeah.
you don't have to meet the timer. It's just you're trying to like elevate to a 7 and an 8, and like it's like the end of a run when you tap out and you
You know
lose the time. But
what?
also in those runs where you lose the time, it gets good because after the timer runs out, you're like, okay, so the problem we're having here is with this, and then you have the time to figure out exact min-maxing ways to make that dungeon better, and then the next time you do it, you've learned something, and that's what I like. I think these
Yeah.
fucking people make the game worse.
Uh, I- it's just interesting to watch people who can pump that much damage. Like it means that they've either number one played forever, like forever, and they've paid attention somewhere along the line, right? So that's
You know what?
why they're getting that much
I
damage.
don't wanna watch all my buffs and stuff. Like I understand how they're doing it. I like I've done it. Except, here's my problem. If I do it, they fucking nerf my character.
It's
Like,
true.
every character I
That's
play.
true.
It's why I don't do it anymore. I get tired of getting nerfed. Like, at the point where they, like, in the middle of Shadowlands, that fourth fucking... It's when I stopped playing. I got so pissed playing Assassination Rogue, and I was... At that point, you could get about 11,000. I was topping 14 by min-maxing. Not fully geared, but I was topping 14,000, and I was like, fuck yeah. And they just insta-nerfed Assassination. Just fucking put the brakes on them so hard, and I was like, you people fucking suck. Like, why don't you fucking nerf paladins?
Oh, hey!
Go and nerf a paladin once in a while.
Hey, no, now.
Yeah, fucking nerf them.
Oh, heck no. I'm doing without my divine toll. Okay, I consider that a magnificent
Fuck off. Look at that lamest character ever. Hey, you know what? I press 3 buttons repeatedly, and I never die. Yay me. And I'm like, you are a lame character. By the way, yeah, whatever. Anyway,
I will have you know that I have 5 buttons. Mostly.
You know, here's the thing. I mean, is I like my thing is I'm gonna go and play. I've decided I'm gonna main Windwalker Mistweaver.
No way.
Yeah. Because I enjoy playing it. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
like it's a lot of fun, and I want to enjoy my gaming experience. I don't want to be the kind of guy who's screaming for 15 minutes because I didn't get to...
I would tell everyone who plays WoW, play what you love. Find the character that you really love. Like, you can play alts until the cows come home. But find a character you really love.
They're a powerful DPS class too. The DPS,
they really are.
I have to learn how to play it though. I like. The thing is, and this is the thing that really, like, I was gonna main, I might still main the priest, but I kind of want to main.
Priests are, like, I see, like, a lot of people playing priests. I don't know if they're extremely good
they
for...
buff the DPS really well.
Here's what is happening. When we're playing out the end of Shadowlands, we have 3 weeks, I think, until Dragonflights come. Is it still 3 weeks, or is it 2 now?
It's 3, yeah.
Until Dragonflight comes along, and basically everyone's farting around. We got huge... I love the fact that Blizzard gave gigantic experience amounts.
Hey, finish your thought, woman.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And all of the new powers that we got make certain characters each week really powerful.
Yeah.
And the first week it was demon hunters.
Yeah, they
were everywhere.
No, but like the thing is, you can't give them a power on a 30-second rotation that does 20,000 damage and then 15,000 after the point. It's too much, Donna. Like it's so fucking overpowered that it's like...
I know.
Like, everybody's running... This is... And I watched a person talk about this, and he... Like, what he said was true. If you're relying... Like, say you're the person who's like a good time Nancy. Like, you have your players, and whatever gets buffed is the player you play.
Yep.
You don't get any better. Ults. You don't get better.
No. That's true. Yeah.
You don't increase in skill. You increase in skill when they nerf the fuck out of your character, and you have to live with it. You have to learn to play them.
That's what I'm doing.
Now I have given up on the rogue, and I'll tell you why. I love Assassination. Like, I love Assassination. Like, I love playing it. It is so much fun. And when you can crit strike somebody for 35,000 damage, it is like, eat shit, buddy. You know, you just watch them fucking drop. You're like, yeah, get fucked. You know, it's a great feeling. And it's a little bit like you're a shitty person for having it, but it's also funny as hell when you pop out of stealth and you've got two cooldowns and you've got your buff going and you just fucking nail them for a 35,000. They get fucking just blown out, and you're like, fuck yeah, down they go, right? Especially Moonkins. Watching Moonkins die is hilarious.
Oh, hey now, that
No,
is
no,
not nice.
I'm serious. It is one of the best feelings in the world, seeing that
Oh,
fucking owl, and then you're just sneaking up on him, and you just pop out, garrot, ambush, fucking boom, 35
can't
grand, and they're
I?
just like, fucking Moonkins. Anyway,
Wow.
besides the point.
Wow.
Now, what they
Are
did,
you're around ganking people in Zereth Mortis?
yeah, I played like every
Nice.
once in a while I play a little Battlegrounds. I mean, I'm not great at it, but I enjoy a good gank. Yeah, yeah, it's
Oh,
fun. Like really, I
I
gank
just
like I unintentionally. Like the problem
oh,
is
oh.
those fucking people who PvP in world bosses who don't
Yep.
turn off their PvP.
They do. Yep, they
It
do.
is a pain in the ass because
Yep.
you're like you will be focused on the boss and you drift off onto them, and if you don't
Yep.
realize, like I have done it so many times,
Yep.
you
Yep.
don't catch it because
Yep.
you're looking somewhere else to see all your buffs and whatever,
Yep.
and you
Yep.
just go for like a huge ambush on them,
Yep.
and pow, you just murder somebody. Like just
Yep.
murder.
Yep.
And you're like, whoopsie. Like, but
Yep.
also fucking get out of here, buddy. Like
Yeah. Turn
I'm
off
I'm
your
I'm
war mode. Yeah.
PvEing. What are you doing over here? Anyway,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
besides the
Yeah.
point. Anyway, but what they did is they took out Vendetta.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Every other class they kept, and then they were just like fucking Vendetta. And I'm like, it is literally how you created humongous. I mean, I realize why they got rid of it. It's how you create 35,000 critical strikes. It's how you do
Well,
it.
I
Is
mean,
Vendetta. You
you're
Vendetta.
complaining about.
And no, but it's important because that's the power of the character. Like the power of the character is the interaction
You
between
mean keep the power
stealth.
but nerf it,
No,
or
I'm listen. Is the difference like when you're in stealth and then you come out as stealth. There's a small time of interaction. If you use certain things, keep your buffs in mind. You can do huge critical strikes, right? You get rid of that, and they're basically like a shitty outlaw. Like, and they fucking did it, and I was like, well, I'm done. I'm done. Like
no,
I am
oh
no, I am
no,
so tired of getting nerfed. Like I am so every character I play, you can watch it. It's what I tell Donna. They're gonna nerf them because I play them and I'm topping out at like some amount of damage. Here comes the fucking nerf, and invariably they will fucking nerf you to the ground. Like just to the fucking ground. There was that one update where I was playing Destruction Warlock, where I went from doing like because
yeah,
I was
it was scary.
exceeding I was
It was
exceeding
frightening.
like I was
Yeah,
exceeding 14,000,
yeah.
and I came in the week after
And
and
your
you
Void
could
Lord would.
you could barely do 6, and I'm like, how is this possible? And then
I was just like,
I read everything. I went through all my powers, all the talent trees. I read everything. I read the WoW release, and they just fucking nerfed them to the ground. And I was like, why? So I like you just lose interest. You get like I understand like nerfing a little bit to keep characters like because somebody's gonna max out their DPS, right? Invariably, so you have to bring down the character. But there are times when you are nerfed so hard and you can't understand why. Usually it's because somebody in PvP was playing a fucking paladin and got ganked. You ever notice that? Some fucker who plays paladin in PvP was like, oh my god, I got ganked by a warlock. And you're like, yeah, they're really powerful. Get good, scrub. Stop fucking playing a character who's 2 buttons and a dream.
hey, yeah,
Yeah.
I.
Play something a little more complicated. Try that for a while. Get good. Like, Don't rely on your character needing buffs all the time. Rely on skill. There you go. That's my WoW rant. I'm done. Anyway, no, I'm not. You know what? I've given up on Rogue. Either bring back my fucking Vendetta, or I'm not playing it anymore. I'm done.
Did you
Don't
did you
fuck.
let
Don't fucking leave. Don't leave Adrenaline, and oh God, whatever the fuck the power is on Subtlety Rogue, it's some kind of X looking thing. Don't leave it on those two characters, and then fucking get rid of my Vendetta, and then give me shitty like. Then they gave me like here's 3 spells that are gigantic that have like an 8-second cooldown. Do you understand how this character works at all? Like, you have stealth. They're the character that relies on stealth the most. Hence the name Assassination.
I'm playing Outlaw. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
She's
no.
nowhere near. Like I
No,
don't.
Outlaw's
She's
still
not.
good, but you've got Adrenaline. You've also got, like, another power, too. You've got, they made that other power across the board. What the hell is it called? For 100% dodge. I can't remember what it's called. They made that across the board. I think that was
Yeah.
character specific before.
What is that
But you've
called?
got Adrenaline. Adrenaline's like a huge... You've also got Roll the Bones, although they put that back to 45 seconds now, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, how about
They might
you
as well
give me
just get rid
back
of it.
how
Yeah.
about you give me back the time when all you needed was 5 points to roll the bones? Why
Yeah.
don't you put that? Oh, because it makes them massively overpowered only if you're good at playing it.
I think Rogue is probably the
Yikes.
most difficult class to play in WoW.
They're hard to play, but
Yeah, they are.
they
They are.
gutted Assassination. Like, they gutted it. They didn't gut it. It's still a powerful class, but it's like what they did is basically they were like, okay, so you're playing an Atari, so we're gonna give you an Xbox One, and you're just like, this is not the same character at all. Like, this is something else. Like, you've turned them into something else, and my joy in the character was specifically how the character worked. I loved it. I loved the way the interaction between stealth, coming out of stealth, layering powers and debuffs, and then creating massive critical strikes was fun. Like, it's what I loved about the character. It was hard to do. It didn't always work. You like, sometimes you'd get like times when it wouldn't go off or pop as well as it does, but when it did, you were just like you'd be the guy doing like the boss topping out at like 16 or 18,000 damage per second, and it was fun. And then they did whatever they did, and now you can get there, but it's not the same. Like, I don't want to take a character I love and relearn it and play it differently, because I love the character, you know? So, I mean, I figure Mistweaver and Windwalker, I really enjoy playing them, so I'm just gonna do that. I'll relearn.
Okay.
I mean, I'd rather relearn a character I enjoy than relearn a character that I once loved that they nerfed the fuck out of.
Have you played all the specs now, Stu?
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like my favorites so far. I like Holy Priest. I enjoy healing. It's fun.
You're good at it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like Holy Priest. They've so they took the cooldown off Smite, which is nice. So you can actually DPS as a Holy Priest now. You just
Oh,
smite the
that's
shit
good.
out of stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Like, you can really get going with that Smite. You just keep on pressing that button, interchanging with your other powers, and you can really fucking get some DPS
They've done
going.
it with the Druid too, where you've got a rotation of 4 as a human, not as the. I should back that up, as feral Druid. you can go into your human form and actually do a decent rotation and heal at the same
Yeah,
time.
they were
So
talking
yeah,
about that. I don't like
yeah,
Druid. I don't
I
enjoy
know,
playing
I
it.
know, I know.
I don't like the classes I don't like are Shaman because it's stodgy.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
it like
Yeah,
I like all the
yeah,
classes where the interaction between you and whatever's going on is really high.
yeah,
Like I don't want to be the person who stands way in the back and just presses buttons. Like I don't like it. It
yeah,
doesn't it's not fun for me, right? Like I enjoy movement,
hmm,
spatial placing,
yeah.
watching debuffs and buffs, watching for ways to min max damage. I enjoy all that stuff. I don't like. I'm not a mage. I don't stand back and just pepper people.
So you do play mage really well,
Yeah,
so
I
you're
figured
pretty good
like
at it.
I figured
Yeah,
out how to use the ice mage to get a lot of
yeah,
damage out of them. It's
yep.
really boring. It's incredibly
Oh, okay.
boring. It's
I
basically
there's such
basically
an
it's an
intrinsic
inner yeah,
there's such an intrinsic character
there's an
for WoW.
interaction between
Yeah.
a single spell and when it procs free spells, and
Okay.
then interacting with that and keeping your things that there's a couple of powers that give you critical strikes, and then there's like different things that proc on the screen that tell you something's happening. It's just interactions with like one spell creates interactions with a bunch of spells, and it's just boring as fuck. I mean, it's fine, and it's really good to play. Like people want them in groups because they're really powerful in
They are. Yeah, they can pump
um,
DPS. Yeah.
DPS and creating like slow or creating
Yeah.
debuffs on stuff, and whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they're good
they're
with
boring to
interruption. Yeah.
play. Oh
Yeah.
my god, it's a
You need
snooze.
them. You
It is
need them
such
though.
a snooze to play them. Same thing with arcane wizards. I don't want to do that. I want to get in there. I want to be the person running up and like having to reposition behind a boss because you do moderately more damage in the butt, and then
Yeah.
being like, take this motherfucker, and then waiting for them to turn around and look at you.
Love
I
it.
I love being the person who, like, no matter how much like the tank can be like as aggro as possible, but once you reach a certain threshold of damage, the boss is like, hey, you little motherfucker.
Mhm. Yep, that's true. That is very
I,
true.
I love
Yep.
that.
Mhm. Yeah.
I like that interaction. I like being the person. I also like being support class. Like I like the idea that you know like if you're in a group and people are failing at something, there's a way to create some kind of, I don't know, to boost the group. It's nice.
Yeah. 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 Paladins have that. They have like 5 buttons.
Oh, five.
Um
Whew.
yeah, well,
Holy shit.
not for doing like for
How
helping
do you
people.
figure out which one to press? You got five
Well, okay,
fingers.
there's
Only
one that
one
gives.
finger can work. Wait, no, that's not true at all. You can work all five at the same time. So basically, you just press five buttons. Nice. I always imagine that people play Paladin are a bit like a squirrel. I love to shit on people who play Paladin. Um, I should probably play Paladin. I mean, I do have a Paladin. He's Alliance. He's level 45 because I never leveled him beyond that.
Jeepers.
I was just like, ugh. Ugh.
What class is he? Tauren or?
No, he's human.
Oh, he's human.
He's a
Yeah,
human
human
paladin.
paladins are
Yeah, they're
are
really
really powerful.
strong.
Yeah.
They're a
Yeah.
little like you know what? When I always love when people who play paladin in PvP are like, we need a buff." You don't need anything. It like buffing them is like, so you got all like, it's like in poker, and instead of playing poker normally, you just gave money to one character because people bitched about, I'm losing, give me things, and they were just like, here, have all the money, paladins. Don't worry about it. We'll just keep on feeding you power. At this point, they're so overpowered that you literally can't kill them anymore. And yet people are still like, I'm not powerful enough. And I'm like, yeah,
I just wanted my divine tool. I need the AoE.
you don't need anything. That character's
I need
unkillable.
the AoE.
Your
I mean,
character is unkillable.
pretty much, but I need the AoE.
Yeah, because you know what else they need? Like they need to just like go down to one button, and it's called kill everything, protect self, and you just press one.
I love it.
I pressed
I love
one.
it.
I pressed one. I'm
And I
doing
pressed one
things.
again. And then I
I'm doing
pressed one
things.
again.
One. God, people who whine about it are just unbelievable. Okay, anyway, music. Muslix?
Yes, Muslix. My song is probably a tad on the boring side.
Oh, get boring.
And I mean, it's not boring. It's a wonderful song, but it's like, it being one of my favorite songs is like zzz, right? I mean, it's the
Oh,
Rolling
so
Stones, and I can't get no satisfaction.
ew.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I just I love the riff. I love the snarkiness of it. Um, I just
Did you know
everything about it.
Did
Yeah.
you know Britney Spears did it on Oops
Oh,
I
I
Did It
do.
Again?
Yep.
I
It
mean,
did.
let's
Yep.
face it, Britney is she's the Bob Dylan of her generation.
Apparently, she's covered a lot of classic songs. I'm like, not well, but
No,
she's
no.
covered them.
No, Britney in Arrears is not. Hmm.
Anyway, like I found some interesting things about it. I guess not much of a surprise. I wasn't surprised at the things that I found about the song, but interesting nonetheless. Keith Richards recorded it in Chelsea, and I think Chelsea is a district in London, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and
Who knows?
he had a habit of either drinking or doing drugs to the point where he would pass out. And
Yeah.
on this occasion, he woke up, found that his reel to reel. I don't know if people remember Philips cassette recorders. They were reel to reel and quite,
Yeah, everybody's
I don't
seen
know,
them. They still
bulky.
put them in films. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it had come to the end and it was doing that thing that it does, which is flip, flip, flip. It was still running, right? And like he was like, wait a minute, before I put a brand new reel on this earlier on yesterday. And so he went back and he listened, and on it was himself playing acoustic guitar, doing the riff for "I Can't Get No Satisfaction," and also singing "I Can't Get No Satisfaction," and that's all he was singing. I just the words "I can't get no satisfaction."
Yes. So basically, what you're saying is the song is a druggy masterpiece.
Exactly, but
I mean,
not written by Keith Richards, except for the riff and the
I
and
mean,
the and
let's
the
face
line
it.
"I can't
Let's
get no
face it. It
satisfaction."
was written by drugs.
Um, possibly. No, I mean
Yeah.
that's
No.
what
It
that's what
was.
I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't written at all. Like that's the
Yeah.
part that I found fascinating was it was just a riff, just a guitar riff, and just words. "I can't get no satisfaction." It
Hmm.
wasn't a song until he took it to Mick Jagger. And apparently he took it to Mick Jagger when they went to do their 1965 tour.
Yeah.
And
I think it's on 12 by 5.
they were in Florida.
Is that right?
They had done a set of 5 songs, and for some reason, yeah, that was all they did was just a set of 5 songs, and the audience rioted. So they were confined to their hotel in Florida. And apparently, Mick Jagger thought that was a good time for him to go out, sit by the pool, of the Jack Tar Harrison Hotel in Florida and finish off the song I Can't Get No Satisfaction, which apparently, while they were on tour in the United States, they had only released Out of Our Heads, the album, in. I, some people don't know this, but early Beatles and Rolling Stones were two different albums released. And Out of Our Heads was the British version, which you would have to order in the States as an import to get it. So when they released Out of Our Heads, they put I Can't Get No Satisfaction on it. And it became a huge hit. Gigantic. It made them. Like it made them headliners, top band. Yeah, they were just instantly really,
Oh,
really
so
famous.
it's a single they shoved on the American version of Out of Our
Exactly,
Heads.
of Out of Our Heads. Yep.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah, because they heard it and because like they recorded it and people were like, "OMG, this song," right? And so, yeah, that's what happens. I mean, the rest is history type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, give me Devo any day.
What?
I'll take fucking Devo every day.
No, doing? I
Oh
can't get no.
yeah. Oh yeah, their version of I Can't Get No Satisfaction is a rollicker.
Oh, well, it's a banger, but I mean,
Yeah, they just gut that song and give it like this bizarro Swedish ska rhythm,
they do. Yeah. Yeah.
and it
Make
makes
it
that song
really
so much better.
choppy and staccato. They
Hmm.
make it really chop and they
And their
speed it up
singers
like
like,
double
I
time.
can't
Yeah.
get no
Yeah.
satisfaction. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's kind
Um,
of wild. Yeah, if you've never
yeah,
heard it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you can love it.
The other part that I noticed was Otis Redding, and I remember Otis Redding's version of "I Can't Get No
It's
Satisfaction," so I
really
know it's
good.
good. If I can remember a cover, it's good, right?
I
Because
mean,
otherwise, I
Otis
just
Redding could
urge
shit
it.
and record it, and it would be great. So
True.
let's face it,
That now that much is
he
true.
was
Yeah.
incredible. Also, don't never record yourself
I
pooping.
found it kind of interesting that it sold gold. It sold gold, and at that time, I don't know if it's changed or not, but gold was 500,000 copies. And I thought that was enormous for 1965. Like, that would be huge.
Gold used to be a lot like it was. It's that thing that rap always says that platinum was made for rap music. It's not true.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah,
That's not true at all. It was made for like Michael Jackson is what
yeah, that's true. No,
because
no, yeah,
it wasn't
yeah,
rap. Please don't say that. It was Michael Jackson. His songs were so huge they were
they were
innocuous.
ginormous. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, no, they
but
were. Yeah.
yes, is it on here?
I found
Hmm.
out the well, I mean, I noticed
This
that
is a
the other
marvelous album, by the way. Otis Blue. Hmm.
is it on Otis Blue?
Yeah,
I can't get no satisfaction.
Otis Blue is
It's a great
Redding's
album.
best album, but it's
What else
wonderful.
is on Otis Blue?
It has Old Man Trouble, Respect, A Change Is Gonna Come, Down in the Valley, I've Been Loving You Too Long, Shake, My Girl, Wonderful
Oh
World,
wow.
Rock Me
Oh wow.
Baby, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, and You Don't Miss Your Water. It's
Wow.
half Redding, half
Wow.
covers, and
Wow.
the covers are the worst stuff on it, which is amazing.
Wow.
Because I can't, I've Been Loving You Too Long is one of those
Oh,
songs that is
so good.
just
So
beefy
good.
as fuck.
So good. Yeah.
Beefy. Okay, get on with your Rolling
Oh,
Stones.
no, that was all the Rolling Stones.
I mean, fair enough.
The song that I picked as its counterpart, I guess, is from 2017, and it's from a Canadian boy, and his name is Coulter Wall, and
Ooh,
mm,
sexy.
and the song is 13 silver dollars.
Oh, does
And
that actually go like was that made in the cutoff? Oh, I'm checking your
oh, it's
cutoff period.
2017. Like it was made in
Oh,
2017.
you know
Right, it was
what?
released. Yeah. It's a new song. Like it's pretty
Dude,
darn new.
you mean his albums are new? You're right. Dude, he's in the last. Oh my god. Yep,
Hmm.
13 silver dollars.
So was
Dude,
Tyler
this
Childers.
album.
I went back and forth between Tyler Childers and Coulter Wall,
God,
and I
he's
picked
so
Coulter Wall
good.
because I just love him. Like I
Because
just
that
love him.
voice, that fucking
Yeah, it's his
gigantic
voice.
bassy voice.
Yeah, he's a baritone, and that's rare in music. I The only other super famous baritone is Johnny Cash.
Dude, that is
Yeah,
that is a that is a boner inducing voice.
it's pretty wonderful. But what I love about 13 Silver Dollars is it's just him and a guitar, and it's one of the best written songs I have ever heard. Like it just draws you in and you're there. You can see him, you can see the cop. Like you can just see that he's like go ahead, lock me up. I got no home. It's cold as hell out here. I've got a hangover. If you want to lock me up, feel free, buddy,
I think he's definitely from the Chris Christopherson school of songwriting. Like
Yeah.
definitely that what do they call it? Rhodes Scholar, which is not Road, it's
No, exactly.
Rhodes, Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah. I was reading and his influences. He said that he started to play guitar when he was 12. So he's been playing guitar, which Stuart thinks he's a marvelous
He's very good.
guitarist.
It's better
Yeah, and
live.
it would explain, why, because he's been playing it forever and a day. But his influences include Woody Guthrie, and that's the Blue Yodel Number 9 reference. Go and listen to Woody Guthrie's Blue Yodel Number 9 because it's a great song. Ramblin' Jack Elliott, not one of my favorites. Graham Parsons, Willie Nelson, Hank Williams, and Marty Robbins. And I think you would hear that in most of his songs. All those people, you would hear a little
Definitely
bit of
Marty Robbins. He has
that.
that
Yep.
conversational,
Yep. Yep.
like
It,
his songs
just a
that
great artist.
really like
Yeah.
he's 13 Silver Dollars is interesting because Snake Mountain Blues and 13 Silver Dollars are very melodic, but
Yep.
most of his music is like conversational, like Me and
Mhm.
Big Dave and
Yep.
Kate McKinnon and
Yep.
You Look to Yours, Bald Butte.
Yep.
These are very conversational, kind of like
Yep.
definitely Ramble and Jack Elliott kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. I don't know. Ramblin' Jack Elliott is kind of,
I mean,
I
he
don't
rambles.
know. Yeah. Mm. Not one of my faves, but
No,
that's
he's
okay.
not very good. But there were yeah, I'd agree with you. Very good. I mean, I love that song too. Is it my favorite song? I
I
don't
mean,
think so.
I
But you
mean,
can
I
love it. I mean, I'm just gonna say, okay, that honestly, Sleeping on the Laptop is a fucking banger. Or
on the
Sleeping on the
blacktop,
Blacktop, not
blacktop.
laptop.
Do
Um,
you know I was reading up Sleeping on the Blacktop and it has 1 million streams on Spotify. A
oh, I bet
million.
it's a fucking banger.
Like
It's
I just
it's in
wow.
that really good
Yeah,
film. They used it specifically in that
they did.
great
Yeah.
modern western that's about those two brothers, Robin Banks. I can't remember what it's
Yeah.
called. It's a great film, but it's used very well in that. It's a banger, but I'll give it 13 Silver Dollars. I love too. I just love him. His voice is huge. If you watch him live, you realize how talented of a guitarist he
You
is
real.
because
And
it
he's
doesn't
just
come
a
through on
really good
album.
performer too. He's a really great
Very
performer.
fine, yeah.
A lot of his songs are more fleshed out than than 13 Silver Dollars. Like they have instrumentation
Yeah,
and
but
harmony and that kind of
I
thing.
mean,
But
I
yeah,
understand. It's got
yeah.
that great like it's got a there's two types of hooks. There's the flashy ones, like the
Yep,
Beatles. The Beatles were about flashy hooks, right? You can
they
hear
were.
like Obla
Yep.
Dee Obla Da is
Hmm.
cringy, but it's also a great hook.
Yep.
Like it's
Yep.
cringe,
Oh,
very cringe,
seriously
but
cringe. Yep.
it's a great hook. And there's also that
Oh, Strawberry Fields Forever. Strawberry Fields
they're big
Forever.
and
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
they're very colorful, and they're
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
based on like they have a specific thing. Like
I would guess they're major chords and that the
there's a
stones are mostly
specific
minor.
way of writing, and I can't remember what it's called. I wish I could remember musical terms, but I just don't remember them. But there's a way of writing where you just use eighth notes, and
Oh,
it's very generic and straightforward, but also it has a pleasing sound.
yeah, it would. It would be sunshiny and
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
it's what
perky. Yeah. Yeah.
Randy Newman writes in those a
Yeah.
lot,
There
and
you go.
they're
There
very
you go.
it's very bubbly and
Yeah.
very
Yeah. Yeah.
shiny and vibrant.
And then
Um,
he offsets it with singing behind the singing behind the rhythm and
yeah, but it also
strange
suits.
cadences and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like I've noticed there's a group of people nowadays in music who
Oh,
are the return of the troubadour.
yeah, thank God.
Shaky Graves is one of those, although he's
Yeah.
gotten shitty in the last few years, but his early stuff is very much like that, like a traveling one man show where you had your drum box and
Mhm.
your harmonica and your guitar,
Yeah.
right? And you were a one
Yeah.
man show.
Yeah, there were a whole bunch of people like that that sprang up. There was um like I always attribute it to that show with George Clooney. Brother, Where Art Thou?
It
Yeah, I
really
always
took off in the 60s.
yes.
People
Yeah.
like Bob Dylan, before Bob
Yep.
Dylan had a band, he had a his harmonica and he had a little
Yep.
like a
That's right.
slap drum for his
Yep.
foot and a guitar,
Yep.
right? And he would go
Yep.
around making his own stuff. The thing is you've got to be I can't remember somebody was talking about somebody who did it like a lot was talking about it, and he said it's not the way you usually make music because you've got to the drum and the singing are metronomic, but the guitar is all melodic, so you got to have like different parts of your brain working at the different
That would
times.
be odd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was. It's an interesting
I
thing.
always wondered when I was younger how it was that Bob Dylan remembered the lyrics to his songs, and then
He
I
said he
realized,
didn't.
yeah, exactly. I
He
realized he
he
didn't.
said
Yeah.
live he would just
Yeah.
do the best he could.
Yep. And he wrote them down.
Yeah,
Like he wrote them down and yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah. I mean, that's
it's
really
cool.
cool.
Look at
So what
you.
was yours? What was yours too?
Oh, what was my song of the day?
Ooh, nice.
Song
We've
of
got
the
oh,
day?
we have to do a thing for that. Like we could get
Song?
Keith to do
Oh, if
song of the
you
day,
know what, I would love him to do music. I don't want to bug him
song of
though.
the day.
He's so talented. Oh god, he like the problem is when I hear him sing, I get incredibly horny.
Oh, jeez
Um,
Louise.
no, it just happens. You can't like, oh god, it's his voice. Like it's part of
Yeah,
your brain
I
is like,
know.
oh, that's beautiful, and the other part is like, I want him so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm a groupie basically.
Yeah, there you go. There
I
you
mean, I
go.
understand groupies at this point. I used to wonder what the hell they were doing. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yep.
I get it now. Um, okay. Oh God. Okay. So my song that I chose, I was thinking about this, and I was like, what is my favorite song? Well, I was thinking about different songs that were important to me, and then I realized I love Randy Newman, but not all
Yes.
Randy Newman.
Oh.
Specifically Sail Away. And which is hilarious because Sail Away nowadays, because it's got, everybody's
Yes.
like, I mean,
Yes.
it's got lines like come away little wog, sail away with me. I mean,
Yeah.
which taken out of context sounds horrible, but the song is about like it's about
Colonization.
racism and
Yeah.
colonization and stuff like that.
Colonization. Yeah.
And like so Simon Smith and the Dancing Bear, like there's allusions to
Mhm.
all that stuff.
Mhm.
But my favorite song on it is Dayton, Ohio 1903,
Oh.
because it's not that at all. I don't think
No,
it was. It
I would
was
say it's serious. Like it's a no, it's a homage to
Yeah, but
nostalgia.
the
Yeah.
reason it's a homage is because apparently, it's a song that was from like the album 72.
Is that true?
Sail Away is
1972. Okay.
72.
Hmm.
He wrote the song, I think it said 1968 or 67, and it
That
was
would be
written
wild.
for Harry
Yeah.
Nilsson. And if
Okay.
you
Oh, that makes
listen to
sense.
Harry
Yeah,
Nilsson doing
that
it,
makes sense.
it is like a worse version of the version that's on Red Newman's Sail Away. Like it doesn't have any of the whimsy of
Yeah. Yeah.
but as a songwriter probably you understand better what's going on. And
And
Harry Nilsson,
it always
yeah.
makes me feel warm when I listen to it. Like I
Well,
feel warm.
I
It
mean,
warms.
the nice thing about it is that it discusses something that most people don't discuss. Now, I've seen interviews where he said that it has to do with the album in the fact that in 1903 it's from a white person's perspective in 1903,
Oh,
because
okay. Okay.
if you were a black person you probably didn't feel the same way, like drinking mint juleps and stuff. But I don't, like, I understand in that context, but I think it's just like when you look back at a time that was simpler,
Mhm.
like without all the bells and whistles,
Yeah.
it was easier just to, like, you could hear yourself think. I think there's a line in it about like you could hear yourself think, and I'm like, you know what the fascinating thing is, people can now experience that through COVID. I thought that was the best thing about COVID, was that it slowed everything down,
Yeah,
where you
to a
could
halt.
experience what
Yeah.
it was like to be
Yeah.
um, in a position where when you went outside, you didn't hear all the ramifications of modern culture. It was
That's
quiet.
true.
You
Very
could hear the
quiet.
birds,
Yeah.
you could hear the
Yeah.
wind,
Yeah.
all the things you can't hear with people whiz banging around.
Yeah. That's true.
Incredible. I mean, I mean, COVID was awful, don't get me wrong, but there were certain things that came out of it that were
A
quite
lot of time
interesting.
for going inside and being quiet too, and I mean like inside of yourself,
Yeah,
right? And being in
yeah,
introspection
yeah,
and
introspection. They
yeah.
said it's one of the reasons for depression is you didn't have
Yeah, I found that odd when you explained that. I suffer from depression. I have my whole life.
yeah, but
And
like having to
yeah,
introspect makes people
it makes
depressed.
you depressed. And to me,
Not no.
it's like it's a prerequisite of my depression. Like because if I catch myself falling into depression, I need to be introspective and figure out what's going on with me.
Yeah, but as
Right?
an
Yeah.
artist, you have to do that anyway. Like if you're an artist, you
Mm.
have to introspect.
I've had a lot of people
It's
tell
part
me
of art.
I should have been an artist, that I should have
Yeah, you gotta be
written.
introspective all the time.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
just par for the course for me.
Yeah.
But I have, okay. So here's like when he was talking about. I watched several interviews, which are hard to find where he actually talks about it because most people just want to talk to him about fucking Toy Story
Yeah. Mhm.
and
Yeah.
ugh,
Which are the
Jesus.
great music, don't get me wrong. Really great music,
Yeah,
but
I mean it's okay.
You've Got a Friend in Me is a wonderful song, Stu.
It's
It
okay.
really
Like
is.
it's
No,
well
it really
written.
is.
I
Do you
mean,
realize how hard it is to write a song like that? Like
yes, I
like
do, and it's
amazingly
marvelous that
hard.
he can do it. But fucking oh, that's Elton John. Sorry, I won't lay that in his footsteps. But yeah. I mean, it's not his best work. His best work is his '70s work. Very
I
fine.
agree. I agree. Yeah, 12 songs and Sail Away are wonderful albums. Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah.
he said that he doesn't think music should be cerebral. Like most, like bad music is cerebral. Basically, he thought it should
Ouch.
be about conveying a feeling. Like
Can't it be, couldn't it be both? I guess.
well, I mean, he said the best music is both, but he
Yes.
said the most important part, like he said the stuff, like he was talking about classical music, about stuff like Schubert and Chopin and people like
Gotcha.
that, where the best stuff is really
Emotional.
heartfelt and
Yeah.
emotional. Like that's what you
Yeah.
remember 300 years on. Like
The
you remember.
Volpe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you remember the emotional stuff, not the
Tchaikovsky.
cerebral. Like nobody's like
That's true.
Shostakovich, baby,
Oh, I need to listen
unless
to
you're a
Sansan one more
fucking
time. Yeah, no. Yeah.
unless you're a fucking pianist, and then you're like, I want to play fast. Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's the things people remember, like Bach, Glenn Gould playing Bach at a blistering
Oh,
pace.
oh,
Like it's fascinating and
it
incredible.
it blows your mind.
It does,
Like
yeah.
it
It's
just
like it's
really blows
cerebral,
your
but
mind.
also incredibly emotional because it's
And
like a
like he
torrent.
is like the most amazing part of that is to listen to him responding to himself playing. Like it's just
Yeah, the mic catching his snickers and his
yeah,
other
yeah, and
stuff,
it's
his humming.
hmm,
It's great.
and the
He's
way
great.
like little words that you don't quite catch, and
Hmm.
like it's fascinating. Like this is a man who at one time is considered the best pianist, best classical pianist in all of classical music, and like
Well, there's a reason.
it's like being invited. It's like Keith Cone or Keith Jarrett's Cone concert.
Hmm.
The same thing. Like it's someone who's so involved in what they're doing. Yeah, that you get to be a part of that. And it's wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's nice. It's nice. I
Yeah.
mean, so he was talking about that. That's one thing I read or I heard him talking about in the massive interviews. He is hard to listen to in an interview, by the way. Dude, that guy cannot get his point across, and he's always cutting off his
Oh
interviewer.
no. He does a me. He's a
Yeah,
me.
it's fucking annoying to listen to.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
Oh
no,
sorry.
not for that reason. Not for that reason. It's because he doesn't like as soon as somebody asks him a question, he just cuts them off and answers the question he wants to answer, and the person has to like speak over him to get the actual question. Like if you're being interviewed, probably wait for the question to finish.
I
You know, that would be
okay.
nice. It's not like a conversation, right? Interviews aren't a conversation. Like, we're having conversations, so, you know, cutting each other off because we're just, you know, you have interjections and stuff, that's fine. But if you're, like, interviewing somebody, they're asking you specific questions. And if you keep on doing that, it is frustrating to listen to.
Oh, I never thought of that. That's
It's
incredible.
frustrating. But anyway, I listened to it,
Okay.
did enjoy it. But, he said he doesn't enjoy the actual writing of music. He likes to. So, what he does is he creates characters to sing about, right? He'll like
What?
create. Yeah, he creates like this person in his mind, and they have like a vocabulary and stuff, and they'll have certain big words that they know. Like they'll have
This is wild.
they'll have like what is it, 10-cent words that they know in their vocabulary rotation.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they'll have
Uh-huh.
one of those,
Yeah.
and then they'll use it in context for like, you know,
Oh wow.
you know, pointing out something, and then he writes music to the character. Like he tries to create like a backing band for that character. I thought it was a cool way. He said he does his own arrangements and always has. He
Yes,
arranges his
I
own
can
music.
believe that.
So he does
Yeah.
classical arrangements for his own music, and I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I thought that was fascinating.
I'll bet like orchestras love him. Like just absolutely
Well,
love working for him.
he said like he was talking about it, and it was cool. If you want to like listen to him talk about, there was a BBC interview that's probably the only palatable one where the guy is very knowledgeable about music and understands like really specific stuff, and he enjoyed that when you could tell. So
Mhm.
he was in the interview, and it's actually listenable. The other
Oh,
stuff
he
isn't.
doesn't enjoy interviews at all. Like
I
he
think
yeah.
you're talking to someone who's got a really high intellectual
Yeah.
ceiling, and he doesn't be like want to be like, hey, Is Simon and the Dancing Bear about a real dancing bear? Like, no, he doesn't. Whatever. I mean,
He
dumbest
has
question ever.
he doesn't suffer fools gladly.
I don't think so. But anyway,
Yeah.
that was that. It was written for Harry
That's
Nilsson for
interesting.
his album Harry, which was later renamed Harry Sings Newman once Randy
What?
Newman became
I didn't know
popular.
that.
Yeah, it was originally I think just called Harry. And then it was re-released as Harry Sings Newman. There was a lot of Randy Newman songs on it.
Well, I guess that's, really good of Harry Nielsen. I guess.
I
I
think
mean,
probably it was the studio being like, "Who's the
oh,
bigger star here, Harry Nilsson or
ow,
Randy Newman?" You
ow,
gotta realize where your bread is being buttered.
ow. Okay,
He
all
had
right.
like Short People was a huge hit, and You Can Leave Your
Oh,
Hat
I
On,
hated that.
and
I still hate that song. Still hate to this very day.
oh yeah,
Like
he
I
he he
just
knows you hate it.
it like the my teeth grit. Like
The mockery
oh
of Short People.
I just
Get
hate that
fucking
song.
mocked.
Oh,
Get mocked, Shorty.
hate that song. I just hate it. But I love Leave Your Hat. Oh, the antithesis is Leave Your Hat. You can leave
You
your hat
know.
on. Oh my god, that song is like it's a
Okay,
strip
but
tease
screw
delight. I
screw
love that
that.
song.
It's
Mm,
Dayton, Ohio, 1903.
yeah.
That's a really
Okay.
beautiful melody line. And then I was thinking,
Hmm,
what is the
okay.
modern equivalent of Randy Newman? And I was like, is
Oh.
there a modern equivalent of Randy Newman? And
Oh,
I thought about
wow.
it for a while,
Wow,
and then
is
and
there?
then I was
This is
like
awesome.
sheer melodics and like
Gotta have some legs. I don't want to hear like a flash in the pan. It's gotta be
ah
somebody that's got legs.
okay. Anyway, so I thought about James Blake, right? Like, because I love Retrograde,
I like
but
I like
also
James
it's a
Blake too.
marvelous song. You could totally pick
Hmm.
Retrograde, and I'd be fine with it.
It's a
But
beautiful
I
song.
was I
Yeah.
was listening to Retrograde, and YouTube was like, "Hey, do you want to listen to Tom York's Suspirium?" And I was like, "I fucking do."
Oh,
More than
really?
I want to listen to
Ouch.
fucking Retrograde.
Ouch.
So I played it, and it is. I remember hearing the song, not the whole soundtrack. I don't. Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, Tom. Oh boy. There's some bad shit on that, but
Is there?
oh boy. Like
Okay.
there's some half-baked motherfuckers coming at you left and right, but the
Wow.
actual song Suspirium, I remember hearing it the first time, and I was like you just turn around, like you hear it and you just like
Mhm.
holy fucking
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. What am I listening to? Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
it is it is
Yeah.
smells like Teen Spirit levels
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Mhm.
neck breaking musical.
I love that feeling when you're in like it doesn't happen to me. Oh, like
No, and it
in
it will.
uh
If you don't remember it,
the
just
worst thing
just
is
play a little bit.
you're standing in Walmart and they've got the music turned up just a titch too loud and they are playing absolute garbage.
Yeah,
Like
dog
just
shit. Yeah.
like and you're just like mm,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
bad covers and dog shit.
it's it's painful. Yeah.
Um so like Suspirium has like a melody line that is like it's somewhere it's like Randy Newman. Randy Newman pointed out in his interview that all of the complexities of Randy Newman is in the interaction of the melody line and the cadence,
Interesting.
like the
Yeah.
way those two create dissonance. And
Yeah.
Suspirium has exactly that. So it has this rising and falling that's like it's a repetitive roundel, like a series of notes that like starts, ends, and then has like an upward and then falling movement to it.
Yeah.
And so it goes dun, 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 like almost a Christmas carol.
Yeah.
And but his melody line is like this sweeping big long melody line,
It
and
would
he
be a song,
sings
yeah.
in the most gorgeous high C.
Oh,
Like his voice is just like
can I just
unbelievable.
say that, like, God granted us a great gift with Tom York. Like he's
Mm.
just, yeah, he just like
There
I
now.
swear, I swear he has the voice of an angel. If you could listen to angels sing, it would sound like Tom York.
No, I'm going to be fair here. There are technically better singers.
Well,
Like
yeah, okay,
technically, like
yeah.
they're, but there's not
I
very
would say
many
he's
who are as
practiced quite a bit. So yeah.
emotionally
Oh,
like.
oh,
Oh my god.
oh, and the way like he can just make you walk into his headspace. Like he just opens his mouth and makes you walk into his headspace. It's an incredible
So
gift.
yeah, I watched a
Just
bunch of interviews with Tom, who's a very beautiful man, by the way.
as a person, he's a really really
Yeah, I
good
mean,
person. Yeah.
he's not like, he is physically attractive, but he's not like barnstorming. Like if you were gonna say who was physically attractive, it's Johnny Greenwood. Like
Yeah,
very,
I agree.
very,
Yeah.
very like, I don't know,
Tall, lean.
Germanic
Yeah.
features and
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah.
what have you.
Yeah.
But he's very attractive. He's soft spoken and
I'll bet he is. Yeah.
he's a very beautiful man. But anyway, so he was talking about writing for Suspirium,
So,
and
no,
he
wait a
said,
minute. Can I clarify? Did you throw James Blake out the window in
"Well,
like
I'm not going to
and
pick a
put
song when there's another song I wanted to listen to more." I'm not going to be like, "Yeah, but Retrograde, although I didn't finish listening to it, I totally pick." No.
okay,
Get
and
fucking debated,
what
James
year
Blake.
is this period from, may I just ask?
2017, I want to say. By
No?
the way, dude, like honestly, like the film is so wonderful.
Yeah, we
Suspiria,
didn't get
yeah,
it.
you've never seen it. It is a
No.
wonderful film that has nothing to do with the other one, which is nice. I didn't
Yeah.
want a
Yeah.
remake like that, and it's nice to have a different film. Wonderful film, like really really great. But that song specifically, track 3, oh my god, so good. I heard it and I was like, yep, that's incredible. No, it's from 2021. Oh no, that's when it was added. Sorry.
This says 2018, so you're okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's not very long ago. It's whenever the film came out. It's like, it has, this has a lot of crap on it, by the way. Like there's a lot
Mm,
of crap on this. And the Suspirium finale is like a larger, more extended version. I'm talking about track 3.
okay.
321, and every second of it is just marvelous. I'm in love with that song. Um
That's awesome. Like
so
the
he
story
said,
behind that is wonderful. You started with James Blake and ended
yeah,
up with
it's
Tom
like,
York.
ooh,
Yeah.
retrograde, and then no.
No.
So he said he was writing songs, like he'd never done a soundtrack before, so when they asked him in to do the soundtrack, he was talking along, and he said, it was liberating to have somebody tell them what to write about.
Oh,
Like they told him what to write about, right? They're like, this is the point of the scene, and the director would give him like insights into the characters and stuff, so he had something to fall back on.
chew on creatively. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he was happy with that. Um, so he said, instead of writing like he normally writes, he said he started to write like the songs were spells, because the film's about witches, right?
Nice.
So you can totally see it in Suspirium. He said he based it on krautrock from the 70s and German impressionism, like German.
Incredible.
And I
As
can
in
totally.
painting. German impressionism
No,
as
no,
in
as
painting.
in oh god, what were they? There was a group of those people who did piano electronic music in the
Oh,
50s.
okay. Yeah, yeah. You mean John Gage and people like that. Is it
Yeah,
John
and
David Gage?
there was that, what is his name?
Yep.
Weitzer?
Yep.
You
I've heard
know,
of
the
him.
guy
Yeah.
who Tom Waits loves. let's see his
Oh,
name.
Kurt Wheel or oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's
Whatever.
Kurt. One of them's Kurt Wheel. Like
Yeah,
he
Kurt
was.
Wheel
Yeah.
and there was another guy. Anyway, so you can totally hear it, but not in that song. In that song, it's like I don't know. It's just gorgeous. I don't. Whatever. It's probably one of the best songs ever. Enjoyed the he and so he wrote it from a different point of view. Now, what he said is he can't read music. He can't read music, which is what I found bizarre. So all of the notations had to be done from tape by somebody
By
so that
someone else.
they could like the backing orchestra could play it.
Interesting.
So that's the way. And the other thing he said is his son played drums on the whole
What?
album.
Is he
Yeah.
married and has
Yeah,
children now?
he's got two children. The
That's
his
awesome.
daughter helped with the concept art and I guess the cover of Suspiria.
Oh, that's amazing.
The album anyway, and
They're very creative.
his son did drumming on it. I was like, it's an
Awesome.
interesting interview. Also, he's like, you know, he's kind of iconic, but that it's so beautiful.
He's just a tad
You know what the
iconic. Yeah.
problem with YouTube is I played a little bit of music on one of those podcasts, and they were like, "You can't fucking do that," and I'm like,
What?
suck a chode, YouTube.
What?
Susan, 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 look
Mm.
me in the eye, Susan, and tell me you're not just a dickhole.
Wow.
Susan.
Wow.
Wajiki, look what you done to my song, Ma.
Mm.
That's another one of my favorite songs.
Mm.
I love Melanie, by the way. You know what? That's the thing. Okay, so off topic here. Um, Keith and I love to listen to Melanie's album with "Look What They Done." He has it.
You got it. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Uh, to my song, Ma. Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up because I don't remember.
Is the album called Melanie Melanie or Look What They've Done to My Song, Ma?
No, it's not. And the problem with Melanie is every Melanie album ever has. Look what they sung. Like, it's one of her.
Yes.
It's either brand new key or
Yeah.
this is
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
the Melanie I was.
This is
Oh
not
my
the Melanie.
god. No, not Melanie from the 80s, people. No.
Wow. Wow.
What in the fuck? They've mixed up Melanie from, I
Who is mixed
think we're
up?
alone now with
Oh
Melanie.
no, that's
Dude,
Tiffany. I thought that was
is it
Tiffany.
Tiffany? Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it is. Maybe Melanie's somebody different. Oh, dude. Okay.
Melanie All Music Guide?
Melanie Safka was her name.
Really?
I
Okay.
don't know.
I didn't
Maybe
know that.
these are. This is definitely not Melanie. Like that is somebody else. So is this. These are not this person. Like what the hell? Why are they listed
Why
in her
aren't you
catalog?
looking up Melanie on All Music Guide is what I want to know.
Because all music guides chode worthy? I don't know. Hold on. I will. See, it's right there.
1969? There's an album from 1969 called Gives Candles in the Rain. That's another of her big
I
songs.
think that is. Hold on. I think that is the album. Is it Melanie Melanie that's on? It's probably Candles in the Rain.
Um,
No, that's got Ruby Tuesday.
it's
Oh,
got
no,
beautiful,
it does. There it is,
beautiful
right
people
there.
on it.
What have they done to my song, Ma? Yep, that's the one with Lay Down Candles in the Rain, Lovin' Baby Girl, Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah, there
This
you
is
go.
a
Well, that
marvelous
explains
album, by the
why
way.
that album would be good. Yeah.
It's so good. It's the only album of Melodies that is listenable and
Mhm.
way better than a 4. Who did this? Who are you? Reviewed by Mark Deming. Mark, get a soul.
Oh
Jesus,
no!
you
Oh no!
fucking
Mark just
chode.
got called out.
Dude, Mark Deming is a chode. There's
Oh
no way this
no!
is a 4. See how like this is the thing about All
Poor
Music.
Mark. Mark.
User ratings 4.5. Yeah. What are you doing, Mark Deming? Mark Deming is all about, oh my god, did you play an eighth note on the third bar? Fuck you, Mark Deming.
You know what I love
Get a
to do
soul! Like, shove it into yourself.
you know what I love to do is to look up albums like the White Album and see what, people think is like I don't know the way to say it, but a common critical, like what do people think about it as a user, you know? And
Well, I mean, there's, you know what? The White Album has Revolution Number 9, which Keith
mm,
loves.
oh, not the extended like 8 minute
Oh
thing,
yeah,
the
oh yeah.
extravaganza.
We
Oh
have these
no, no,
conversations about how great this is,
no,
and I'm like,
no,
Keith, that's
no,
shit.
no. It's
That's a
it's
hunk of turd
no, it's
just on
avant-garde,
the end
but
of your album. Like, it's a hunk of
yeah, it
turd.
is. That's what it is.
Also,
But,
it's John Lennon and Yoko, and this explains it all. This is
mm,
John Lennon, but Yoko Ono wanted to help, and I'm like, don't
mm.
ever let Yoko Ono near music,
You know
ever.
what I, yeah,
Don't
you know
do
what
it
I,
because
you,
she thinks
mm,
she's good, but the actual reality is something different. Oh, she's painful. Like, that woman is just like,
like I often wonder
ugh.
what would have happened to the Beatles if John would have said no. If he wouldn't have been so enamored of her and been like, no, you can't come to the sessions. We're recording an album. Like,
Did Yoko
oh.
split up the Beatles? Who knows?
Yes, yes, she did. How could you not say she split up the Beatles? Can you imagine? Like, put yourself in the place of George Harrison. You're making like superlative music with people that you've known for 20 years, and all
Then
of a sudden there's this woman and she's like telling you what to do, and you're like, no.
she says that's not true. Also, Yoko Ono,
Not
you're
have
a
you
chode.
mm,
Have I heard Yoko Ono talk? Yes, I have. It's a bit like watching God Gojira with subtitles.
kind
Ha
of.
ha! Fuck you,
Yeah,
Yoko.
I would
Um,
say that. I mean, like
except not out
I
of
can
sync.
remember her conversations with John Lennon, and she tends to dominate the conversation.
Well, I mean, I know how that goes.
Uh,
You speak louder. Also, I just don't like her.
I mean,
I don't like personally. I would punch her in the ear. Not because and I would give myself like I would be like, yeah, you never hit a woman, but Yoko Ono deserves this punch in the ear.
she's just a little bitty woman too.
Oh
Like I,
God. Okay, I do it
mean,
with a fake, like I do it Jackass style. I put a big glove on a big winding thing and then ask her to bring in soup and just
oh,
have her get
that's
smacked in the face.
that's well,
I don't like
okay.
that woman at all. Um, she
I think it's
irritates me on
rather
a level.
remarkable that she hasn't remarried. That's all I can
Ah,
say
who
about
the
it.
hell would? Oh, no, I won't say it. Okay. Anyway, my hatred for Yoko Ono runs deep, and it's all okay. Now I'm gonna say this. It's petty. I have a petty hatred of Yoko Ono, and it all comes down to mind games. Is it mind games? I think it is mind games, isn't it? Or is it double fantasy that she absolutely
Oh,
just
oh,
fucking demolishes with her bullshit?
yes. And
Oh boy, yeah. No,
it's painful.
it is no, it's oh god, it's so bad. It's like it's both of them. Like this one is painful. Listening to Double Fantasy is
Oh,
one of the
painful,
worst experiences because
painful.
just like starting over, cleanup time, I'm losing you, beautiful boy, watching the wheels and woman are just like chef's kiss
Great
great.
songs.
And
Yeah.
then everything Yoko Ono does is just grating and obnoxious and horrible.
Mm,
And
mm.
you're just like, oh please, can you not? Can you not? You know what? When John comes to you, it's like, do you want to make an album with me? Like, just be like, you know what, honey? I think you should do the album. You do it. I've
Hmm.
heard your songs. They're wonderful. Let's do that. It would be like me being like, Keith, okay, now this is important. You're doing an album, but half of it needs to be my songs too. Because that would be atrocious. Have have some goddamn
It just, I mean, wow.
Oh, it's painful. Double
Ah,
Fantasy is painful. Also, I think didn't she do some shit on Mind Games too?
I
Isn't
think
she have
so.
some crap
Yeah,
on there?
I think
No,
so.
Mind Games is just the one where he did when he was on drugs, which explains.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's Double Fantasy. She flattens Double Fantasy.
Oh, and the problem with it is that it's not like they're interspersed. Her songs are interspersed in the
They
album.
really are.
I
Yeah.
bought it on vinyl, and it's painful. Like it literally is painful. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he started doing drugs, and I guess like that's thing. And then Double Fantasy was his comeback album. Oh God! And then Milk and Honey. Oh God, Yoko, stop! Just stop! Just do everybody a favor and stop. I don't make music because I'd be terrible. Like, Can you imagine me coming out on a stage in an opera house and being like, "You will now hear the greatness of whatever opera I was doing in the dulcet tones of a man who screeches," and then proceeded to do the entire opera just warbling away off key, and then being
But
like, by the way, this is great.
like, would you be hanging upside down? You know,
I mean, I'd have
because
to make it interesting, so something would happen. But also, no.
mm,
Keith was like, I remember Keith was like, um, do you want to sing backup vocals? And I was like,
no,
nobody wants to hear me do backup vocals.
no,
There is not a single person on this
no,
planet who wants to hear me doing that. I
no.
was like, you need somebody else. And he was like, you're fine. And I was like, no,
No.
no, I am the worst singer ever. I
Yeah.
suck so bad. And
You
Yoko,
know that
the
that's
problem
okay.
with
That's
Yoko
okay.
is she doesn't have inside her brain, she hears. Like when she's singing, she's like, I am Marianne Faithful. Like I am cutting a rug and being incredible. But the actual truth of the situation is not that.
He has such a tinny voice. And
It's hideous. And her music is hideous. It's all bad. It's just not a
like
good time.
I understand like some of her reasoning. It was, to make Japanese music more accessible and
You don't have
uh,
to. There were
mm,
people who were Japanese artists who did wonderful music.
yeah.
You know what? Like,
Mm.
there's an album of Japanese flute that's really hard to find, and I think like I swear the guy's name. I would have to look it up, but I think it's something like Shingo Ryuju or something like that. It's like this album of Japanese flute with like a little bit of creak, and because it was played outside, you can hear nature sounds in the
Oh,
background.
that is even
Not fucking new age dolphins. Anybody who puts fucking dolphins in their song and they're not doing it like the orb did as like a meme. Ugh.
I love
Ugh.
the orb.
Ugh. They're just like
God loves the orb.
tweet tweet hoot hoot. And I'm like, don't do this. Because let
Mm.
me okay, so this you know what, the tangent has been fully realized. Um what the hell is her name? Okay. Problem with my brain is that no names are ever remembered anymore. Okay. Clockwork Orange was done by. Oh, you're not going to tell me, eh? You're not going to you're just going to act like that's not knowledge you want. Okay, here we go.
The
Album.
soundtrack for
Not by Genesis. Are you Wendy Carlos, thank God. Okay, Wendy Carlos. Okay, so she did Clockwork Orange, and people will be like, ooh, Clockwork Orange is the best thing ever. Or they'll be like well-tempered synthesizer, which is very interesting. But this album, Sonic Seasonings, created the
Hi,
beast.
Wendy.
This created the beast that is
Uh,
New Age.
oh,
And it's
oh, oh,
marvelous. Like it's
oh.
a great piece of music. Like it has like nature sounds integrated, because what she was trying to do is create an album that was like a pastiche, but instead of just using musical instruments, some of it was just like the sounds of a park, stuff like that. Like
Yep,
really
that was done
interesting
during
stuff.
the, was this during the
70
'70s? Yeah,
72. Okay.
yep.
Wendy
I thought it was done
Carlos
during
is
the
like,
'70s.
here I come. Sonic Seasonings, baby. It is marvelous. It is really, it's fun to listen to. It's really beautiful.
Are you
Um,
serious?
I'm
Sonic
serious.
Seasonings.
Sonic
Okay,
Seasonings is a great
okay,
album.
all
In
right.
in ambient, Sonic Seasonings is considered like a fundamental cornerstone of ambient, because
Ready?
it has that thing
Sure.
that leaches into New Age. New Age and ambient have like this tenuous relationship.
They do, yes.
Like for like, and strangely enough, it's because of people like George Winston and
Mm,
Vangelis and people like that. Like
mm-hmm.
they have like this
People got
relationship
really
with
famous
one
doing it.
another.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, this album is marvelous, and it created the beast of every fucking person ever who made an album with some fucking whale honking. Stop. Just stop. Don't call your album like the hymn of the whales and then sell it to middle-aged women, because we know what you're doing. We know you. You are a really annoying person. Anyway, I've been through all this. I still love ambient music, although I will do one of these with some ambient songs on it so
No.
people can. Donna
Oh,
hates them.
I
Um,
I'm not a fan of
I
ambient.
love
No.
them. I love ambient music, but
I mean, there are some ambient
she created a beast.
I will willingly listen to, but very little.
She
Yeah.
she created a beast with Sonic Seasonings. It was the beast that it was the
Okay.
beast with one back,
I'll
and that
take your
was
word
Wendy
for it.
Carlos. And from that point on, oh God, New Age. Hold on, you know what?
No, please no. Oh Lord.
Let's like the thing is, oh God, oh God. You know what? And this is the problem with looking up New Age music, is every website will act like it's going to tell you what's good in New Age, but it's not. It's just a list of artists that are like, oh God, they wibbledy wobble. William Ackerman is at least listenable.
He's huge in ambient. Yeah.
He only has 2 albums. David Arkenstone is great, by the
Yeah,
way.
that's another one. Yeah.
But
Who is the fellow that is Native American that did like Canyon Falls or something like that? I
what the
remember.
hell is his name?
Oh, and
He
that
gets lumped in with world music from sometimes.
he does. Yeah.
Michael
I
Hedges. There's another
that
one.
is
These are
that
all.
him?
No, that's not him. Paul Horn. Paul Horn is incredible, by the way, because
Is he?
Paul
Okay.
Horn is not your usual. Well, he predates a lot of that, but he has 2 albums which are marvelous. He gets lumped into New Age, but I'd say he's probably more jazz influenced. It's not Something Blue, by the way. Who the hell did this? Who did this one? Who are you? Whoever put this
That's
together,
it.
you're a
Carlos Nakai.
Carlos Nakai. Is it Inside? It is. Is it Inside? There's another album. Maybe it is just. I'm probably thinking of another artist. Anyway, yeah, this is Inside the Taj Mahal. He recorded this album inside the Taj Mahal, and it's so groovy. Like the
What artist is
echo.
that?
It's Paul Horn. I bought
Okay.
this for Keith and he loves it. Like he loved it when he heard it.
Okay.
Because it's very groovy. He's a horn player and a flautist and so he plays several horns. I think he plays the like a series of them from flute up. But it is so cool because of the echo that comes from the space in which it was recorded. Keith loved this album. This is the great thing about actually not okay. So when you love music, don't just be the kind of person who's like, I don't care to like extend my boundaries. Like extend those boundaries out.
No, I would say that would be a prerequisite of loving music. If you say you love music, you should at least listen to smatterings of every genre and make an effort to find out what people think is good.
Yeah, see,
So that, yeah.
all this stuff like Tangerine Dream are not new age until the 80s, by the way.
Mm.
There's Vangelis. Vangelis has some great albums, also some terrible shit. George Winston is actually probably really wonderful.
Yeah, he's not bad. Yeah.
But the thing is, the best is always the ambient side. What is that album called? By the way, recommendations for listening to this that has nothing to do with what we were talking about
Mm.
is Shut Up Samsung.
Have you ever found a way to shut that off?
Yes, it doesn't work because it keeps on turning itself on. Is this? This is it. This is Max Richter's The Blue Notebooks.
Oh, that is a wonderful album. Seriously, I
So good.
enjoy that very much. Yeah.
It's so wonderful. It has.
In
It
fact,
has.
I think I was the person who discovered that, and you
No,
were
you're
listening
not.
to me listening to it.
You are not the person who.
Okay.
I,
All
dude,
right.
don't even go there. I
Oh,
was
no,
listening to
I
this
just
when I was.
did go there.
I was listening to this when I was still married to Helga.
Okay. Yeah.
Her name isn't Helga, but Helga.
Mm.
Let's just assume that her name's Helga. Um, yeah, I listened like when it first came out. I was listening to this back in 2004.
It's a really great
Don't
album.
try,
Yeah.
don't try and undercut my super in front of the line, like hipster vibe that I've got
Right.
going, Donna. I am
What?
incredibly hipster.
What? What more?
I am musical hipster to the end. You know what the other one is? Okay, these two albums and Tim Hecker, which
Yes, that
nobody
makes
has ever heard probably, but
I've heard it.
oh
I've
god,
heard
he's so great. But it's Harmony and Ultraviolet. Is that what
I
the
think
album's
I
called?
might.
They probably won't recommend it. They'll recommend some other shit. Yep, see, haunt me, do it again. No, and look at this. A four? No, no, no. Oh,
Hey, 5 albums.
I'm
You're one.
looking. I'm
Oh,
looking.
hold
Who?
on.
Marissa Brown? Get a fucking clue. Who are you? Get some ears. Put them on your head and listen. It's easy, Marissa Brown. Don't listen to things while your head is stuffed in a toilet.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
you're fucking wrong.
Wow.
4 stars? Really? You're hedging your bets, Marissa? You're hedging them,
Wow.
eh? No, it's 5. Just give it a 5. It's one of the best albums ever made. And yeah, it might not be the album that sounds like everything else, but it's incredible. Everybody loves Haunt Me, Do It Again because it's very wibbly wobbly. And that is a technical term in music.
Is it now?
Yes, I made it up just now. Um, and
Okay.
here's the other one. They won't like it either. Is Alluvium's Copia. You know what? They're like, ooh, you need to listen. No, you don't. Don't listen to Lambent material. Whatever. I mean,
Mm.
listen to it. I mean, it's really good. Talk Amongst the Trees, but Copia, ugh. Like Copia should come with like a pre-jizz warning. Like,
Oh
don't
boy.
jizz while listening to this because you're gonna. It's so
Oh.
good.
Mm.
At least,
Okay.
okay, so let's look who gave this a 4.5. Joanne Green, I'll high five you for that. At least you're not like Marissa, who's like, I can't listen to it. I gotta hedge my bets. It might not be good. Marissa? Oh, Marissa. Who are you, Gene Becker? A 4 star? A 4 star, really? What are you listening to? Don't tell me. It's like your favorite album is called Whales in August and includes whales humping while a piano plays, right, Gene Becker? You're out there? You're out there like, I like whales, and the piano and whales humping makes me feel all the fucking feels. Dude, get a clue. Get a clue. It's a 5. Just get a
Mm.
clue. Use your
I,
ears. Stop
I,
listening to things with your head in a toilet. You know what? This is my new thing. When you don't get the music, you're listening to things with your head in a toilet.
mm.
Here we go. That's the new thing.
I'm
Oh,
thinking
oh, you didn't.
that.
Oh, you don't like the Strokes as the sit? Stop listening to things with your head in a toilet.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, wow.
you got a problem with this artist? You got a problem with this artist? Stop listening to things with your head in a toilet. There we go. Figured it out.
Amazing.
There we go.
Hmm.
Also Leonard Cohen. There's a lot of. You know what? I need to save it. Anyway, so what we
Leonard
talked.
Cohen
No,
did ambient?
no.
I didn't think so. I was like, what? No. I mean, okay, never mind.
Okay, so you got I Can't Get No Satis
Satisfaction. Yes.
Faction. It did better when Devo did it.
Um, no.
I know you don't want to
Oh,
hear it, but it is.
no. I know it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, interesting cover, yes.
No,
Better?
better?
No.
Better than the original? For sure.
No. Dear Lord, no. But yes. Oh, okay. I mean, sure.
The Rolling
We,
Boners are definitely like a thing. Like they're a thing. They're not my favorite band.
I have to say they're not my favorite either, but
I mean,
that's
they're
my
Rolling Boners.
that's my favorite. Like other than Sympathy for the Devil, which is my other favorite Stone song,
I no,
and
I get
maybe
you.
Paint It
You're
Black.
sticking your head out on a limb. It's fine. Everybody else will be like, "Yeah, that's a great song," and I'll be
Mm,
like, "Devo, Devo."
I mean, that's okay. Better though.
Bullhorns
I
for days. Also, I think like it comes right after Mongoloid, and Mongoloid
Oh
is the
wow.
most hated song in music. Like people hate it, and it's so groovy. Like what a banger. And people are like, "That's really rude," and I'm like, "Well, also it's a banger."
I mean, they had their moment in the sun. Devo did.
They did whip it. Not
Whip it
not even
real
their
good.
best song, but anyway.
No, true. No, that now that much
Um,
I will go with, and whip it real good. I mean, it's I mean, you know,
Sexy.
yeah.
Okay, and
Mm.
then you were Coulter Walling, which I agree wholeheartedly. Get some Coulter Wall in your
Yep,
life. If you
yep.
haven't yet, it's because
Do it.
you're too prissy. Stop being so prissy. Get some Coulter Wall in your
I
life.
mean, I was looking up Saskatchewan 1881
Mm-hmm.
because I went through the songs that I really loved of Booker Wall, and I was looking up what people thought of these songs, and there was a lady from Saskatchewan on Reddit who had a bone to pick
Oh,
with
I'm
Coulter
sure.
Wall because she thought that the song was too controversial in an East versus West Canada, okay? Which I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that it's about rich people bothering poor people. Like
No,
I think that's the
it's
gist
about
of the
trying
song.
to run a farm with
Yes,
bankers.
Ex-
Fucking bankers.
exactly.
Um,
And
who's
yeah,
who's
the
called Mr.
yeah,
Toronto Man?
like I'm pretty sure it's about wealth disparity and not and then she had a problem with the fact that he was mentioning canola as belonging to 1881 and that it was probably not a crop that was like widely grown at that time, and I'm like, lady, creative license, get some.
Okay. So here's the thing. I like one time I ran into one of these people. I remember I was working and it had been a long day, and he was like, I can't remember. He asked something really innocuous, and he was like, where do I put this item? And I was like, you put that over there, right? And I just pointed. And he was like, that's grammatically incorrect. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, you understood what I said, didn't you? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, then it's just fine. And I was like, you're an English teacher, aren't you? And he was like, how did you know? And I was
Did
like,
you know?
only somebody who was an English teacher would be that priggish.
I no
And
no no
get
I have been
fucked.
that I have been that priggish on occasion.
Well, I mean,
I
okay,
mean,
so not only English teachers.
English is the language I speak, and I like to think that I'm
If it
at
does the
least
job, it
half
does
half.
the job.
But you're right. Like I've been amongst people who do not speak English well, and I don't hold that against them.
You know what? Language is just the facilitation of something.
I agree.
If it
I
works,
agree.
it works. Like,
Although
don't
although
use randomized nouns when you're
that's
not in person with the person because how the fuck would they know?
that's not totally true. Like when it's said by Shakespeare or William Blake, it's more than just language. It's yeah, but never mind.
Ew, William Blake.
Well,
You mean Shitspere? No, Shakespeare was great. Also, um,
mm,
we've moved on from that. The
we
thing
often
is, the
do.
thing is, those people were writing in an alphabet that isn't even our alphabet anymore. It had other
No, that's true.
letters, like there were
Yeah, that's
letters
true.
that have gone. Like nobody does the AE anymore because who fucking cares?
I
Like I
I
don't
know,
give a
but
shit.
you would have to agree that our English language is denigrated quite a bit.
I mean, fair, but also whatever. If it facilitates the job, I'm fine with it. I mean, sometimes like it. You don't have to be really complex. You don't have to use all your 5 cent words to basically say something that's obvious.
I I think if you're going to write a piece of art that that you can do that in however you feel, but if you want people to take you seriously, it should be done well.
Actually, they like in novels, simplicity of writing is important. The
It
English
really is.
language is hard to read if you're constantly obfuscating with some weird word that nobody understands. Also, I realized that ow, that nobody knows what truncated means. Now, this is where that loses me because truncated is not some obscure word. Like it means something specific. It has like a
It does. Yes. Yes.
you will have the chance to use truncated in a sentence probably every month of your life for the rest of your life, right? It's not like some word like dendrophilia where the one time you see somebody fucking a tree you're like dendrophiliac. You know,
Wow.
you don't like if nobody knew what that word meant, it wouldn't
Wow.
like nobody would care,
Wow. Okay.
right?
Yes.
But truncated totally different.
Hmm.
Totally different. But people did because I was making a pun with Keith, and I was like, what do you call an elephant whose what he called an elephant cut off in traffic or something like that, and I was like truncated, like
Oh,
TRUNK and then cated,
he would love
and
that.
I
He loves puns.
snickered, right, and people just looked at me like, what does that mean? And I'm like, hmm. So there's two sides to that conversation. He did, yeah, he laughed. He
Mhm.
was the only one laughing, though.
That's okay.
It's
That's
puntastic, man. He is the pun
yeah.
master, though.
Yes, he is. He's
Be
very good
prepared
at
to be
that.
punned at.
I like it very much because I like puns. Yeah.
I accept it because I love him, and you just like, what am I gonna do? Be like, I hate puns. Stop punning. It would. Wow. Also, he tells stories where he'll start a story and you think he's being serious, and he'll talk for five
No,
minutes just to put a pun on it, and then you realize you've been debated.
I love that.
So,
It's fun. Yeah.
I mean, it's fun for him.
I mean, I just think it's fun. I just
Fair enough. You and Keith will pun hard, pun long.
Carbon also enjoys the puns. Like he also enjoys them a lot.
I know punderful people.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. Now, WoW is
Okay.
something. It downloaded
Well,
something.
it updated and then it said it was now playable.
What a wiener. There you go. Okay, go off and WoW hard, but you need to give your one good piece of advice.
For today, my one good piece of advice. Hmm. I
Excuse the
guess
hell out of
I
me.
guess it would be the piece of advice that I said before. If you decide that you like art in a specific form, say painting or music or sculpture or architecture, whatever it is that you decide in art you really you should make an effort to become knowledgeable about it. Yep, that's my piece of advice.
You should make an effort to become knowledgeable about the art you love.
Yes,
And what if
yes.
you're a soccer mom?
I don't think that holds you back anymore. I think that's the wonderful part of our modern age is that you can be anyone, well, almost anyone, in almost any circumstance and educate yourself.
Fair
Yep.
enough.
You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. It's fun.
You will enjoy
Hmm.
it?
You will enjoy it. It's fun. Learning is fun. When you know something, it's fun.
Fair enough. What is my good piece of advice? Hmm. You know what my good piece of advice is? Is when you're in a relationship with somebody, don't instantaneously don't instantaneously start thinking about things as in things you'd like to change about the other person.
Oh,
Actually give something a chance if the person enjoys it.
yeah.
Like, give it a
I
chance.
think that's a good thing, like in life in general. Yeah.
I know too many people who are like,
Hmm.
also, if you're like, never date somebody when you have one of those things where you're like they have to change what they're doing for me to be fully invested in this relationship, because
Mm-hmm.
that's a shitty thing to do to another person. Just be like,
Hmm.
I can't handle that.
I think that's one of the saddest things about relationships is that, yeah, it's like having an agenda. It's like being a politician or, you know, somebody who's buying something. Well, that's not in the color I like it in. So, I instead of green, I want it in pink. I'm like, I think it's disingenuous and hurtful.
Relationship is
Yeah.
commerce to people who don't know how to be emotionally open.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah, not my problem. I don't have that problem.
Burn, there you go.